world is yours. The world is yours.
It's mine, it's mine, whose world is this? It's mine, it's mine, it's mine.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Peyton. Today I'm coming at you guys with this ginger SZA inspired hair color tutorial. Please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and let's just jump right into it. So I'm going to be starting off by laying down a trash bag. I'm going to be using BW2 powder, 40 volume developer, a dye brush, a dye bowl, and make sure you wear gloves. You don't want to get all those harmful chemicals in your body, and also you might want to open a door, open a window, or turn on a fan because it can get really smelly. So I did the same thing to each 4 of my bundles, but I'm only going to show you guys me dyeing and bleaching one bundle. So basically what I do is take a scoop or a couple scoops of dye, and I just mix in my 40 volume developer so that it's very consistent. I really don't measure anything because I've done this a lot. So yeah, I just basically do it until it's thick enough that it's like pancake mix. Like, when you mix it, you want to make sure you just leave the dye brush there. It should not fall. If it falls, it's not thick enough, but if it doesn't, you're good. So as soon as I'm done mixing, I just start applying it. I like to do it like starting at the bottom, then going from right to left, just because it's just a lot easier that way than just starting from the top and going down to the bottom. This makes sure that you're processing the hair all at the same speed, because if you start on one side then move to the other side, one side is going to process faster than the other side, but if you start at the bottom is going to process at the same time as the top. You know, you just have to leave it a bit longer. But it did take me a whole lot of times to do this, so I would not recommend using a dye bowl. I would honestly recommend getting like a giant bucket or like a plastic container or Tupperware or something like that, just so you can dye your hair, because yeah, like doing this mixture thing made me take a whole lot longer than I had to. But yeah, I'm in my dorm, so I didn't really have Tupperware. I don't use Tupperware, but yeah. So all I did was fully saturate the hair, and then I peeled it off, turned it around, and I just did the same thing, just making sure it's fully saturated. The more saturated and the thicker consistency your bleach is, the faster it will process and the lighter it will process. So if you have a thin mixture, your hair is probably not going to get super duper, like, you know, blonde. It'll probably get like honey blonde, or, you know, but it just depends. But me, I wasn't looking for a particular blonde. I just wanted the hair to lift so that I'd be able to dye it orange. So then once I'm done fully dyeing the hair, I just like to grab it and then just take it all up, folding it together and just making sure it's fully saturated and that it's just fully covered, so that there are no dark black brown spots anywhere, and just making sure the hair just gets fully blonde. I would recommend leaving the bleach on the hair for 30 minutes, no longer than 45, because then you will overprocess your hair like I did, and you know, the hair is just going to fall out, and you do not want that. Then I rinse it out. I would wash and shampoo it, and then after that, let it air dry. Now we're going to move on to dyeing it. These are the dyes that I use. You can pause that to see, or you can look in the description box below. And I'm also going to be using this Revlon Color Silk dark brown dye to dye the roots of my closure. So I'm going to be starting off with 3 colors. I use 2 of the same colors, and then I use 1 ginger. So I use Cajun spice and French cognac, and then a little bit of ginger, and I do that for all of my bundles. So yeah, I did this same method for all of my bundles. I used a little bit of French cognac, a little bit of the other one, and then a very small amount of ginger. So I literally just mix all of this in my dye bowl. Once again, I would recommend using a giant bucket, not a dye bowl. And once it's fully mixed together, you might want to mix it for like 2 or 3 minutes. Then you can just start applying it onto the hair. You don't have to do anything. You don't need developer anything. It gets really messy, so I would say like do this outside, or do this on a trash bag, on a towel, something you don't care about, because a door dye, like any kind of semi-permanent dye, is going to stain. Anything will stain. Like, I stained my floor after this, but I had to clean it up. And yeah, so I'm just making sure that it's fully saturated. I'm getting the dye all through the hair. And once I fully saturate one side, I flip it over and fully saturate the other side, making sure that there are no blonde spots left, and making sure the orange hair color is all over. And like I said, I do the same thing to each bundle, like the same mixture, the same brushing style, everything is the same. And then once that's done, I pick it up again and gather all the hair together and just go through it to make sure it's fully saturated. So once I'm done with that, I start working on my closure. I turned my closure upside down and made sure that there was no dye on the sheet that I was working with. And literally, I just did the same thing as the bundles, but I just stopped dyeing it at the lace, and I tried to leave black roots, which is kind of hard. But yeah, as you guys can see, I'm just dyeing it up into the roots. And you want to be really careful, because once you stain your lace, it's really no going back. Like, I've tried, it's no going back. But yeah, I kind of just part it and just dye it. It's better to do this on a wig head just so that you don't get dye on your lace, but I was being really careful. And yeah, so once I dyed it, with the orange hair color, then I went back in and dyed the roots back black, or like dark brown, because I did over bleach them. So this is me dyeing it back brown, and I just took a mascara wand and just carefully dyed the roots back black. If you guys want to know how I fix my over bleach knots, you can watch the video. It'll be in the description box below, and I'll also put it in my cards. But yeah, you really want to just take your time with stuff like this so that you don't mess up your lace. The closure is like the most important part. And once I was done with that, I let that sit for like 2 hours. And I washed it out and I conditioned it and let the hair dry. And after that, I was finished, and this is what it looked like. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure you thumbs up this video if you liked it, and subscribe if you want to see more videos. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in my next video. Bye. I personally think that I over bleached the bundles, but like, it was like the rest of the hair was okay. The 20, the 22 inch, and the 24 inch bundle, all those bundles, they were fine. And the closure was definitely fine. I only let the bleach for the closure sit for like, I want to say like 30 to 40 minutes, but all the other bundles were left for like an hour.